today we have George Pearson, who's going to be doing some evaluation questions based on his media project. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Question number 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, and challenge forms and conventions of other media products? I believe that through a lot of research into action thriller genres, we were able to develop our knowledge into the whole idea of the action thriller genre, and we were able to conform to the typical conventions of an action thriller. So, for example, we would look at films like James Bond and some of the great chase scenes that they have in, say, Casino Royale and in Skyfall as well. And we try to incorporate that into our work to make it as interesting as possible for the examiner, as we only had an opening title sequence to go off. And there were also many different forms that we wanted to show in our work. So we've noticed there are a lot of action thriller trailers that try and grasp the audience's attention with interesting scenes, interesting sounds, and we try to incorporate that into our work with dramatic noises in terms of our soundtrack. And now, on to the second question. How does your media product represent particular social groups? I think our media project will benefit those in social groups of like extroverted people or more people who are accustomed to getting out there and enjoying like the risks of the world. So in our project we show a guy who is hunting a guy who is his target, if you will, and he wants to do this by any way necessary because his title is the Hunter. It's just what he does. And I think people who are kind of on the edge and risk taking, they'll see this as maybe relatable in some way because they'll do anything to get to where they want to be, and that kind of links to people who are really hardworking as well. So if they want to really achieve in life, they'll want to work really hard. So if you watch our project, you'll see the hunter, should I say, striving to catch his target. And I think this can really coexist with these types of people. Anyone who's really interested in the idea of action, an action thriller genre, or seeing someone run for their life or be on the edge as a general risk taker in any given situation in their life. Question number 3. What type of media institution might feel like they want to distribute your product? And why? I feel that my particular media project would probably be more suited to an independent film company such as Warp Films, and I feel this way because of the sheer simplicity of the project. And if you see films that they've made in the past, such as 71 or This Is England, they really basically focus on characterization. And I think this is key in our project as well, seeing as the guy is called the Hunter, and people would really want to know about where this guy came from, what is his past like, how has he got to where he is today. And from the film opening, you'd think that the film is not generally going to be focused upon like massive explosions, like funded by huge budget companies, everything like that. So I think an independent company like Warp Films would be best suited for this because we really want to focus on the characterization of this guy, who's this mysterious person who's called the Hunter. So I think that's one of our main aims of our actual project, was to make sure this guy as mysterious as possible and shows no real emotion, to add to that curiosity of who is he, where does he come from, how has he got to where he is today. And I think independent film companies can really focus on this particular area more so than high-end companies such as Warner Brothers. Question number 4. Who will be your audience for your media project? This kind of links to question 2. If you just want to backtrack on this and see my answer to that, it would be quite similar, but those people who enjoy living life on the edge, that kind of audience. And in addition to that, I think maybe it would suit more younger audiences, because they're used to watching like superhero films. They're used to watching a number of action films that are coming out nowadays. I lose track of how many there are, but it seems to appeal to a younger audience, the more action there is, and I think our media project is predominantly focused on the action thriller genre, and so younger audiences will look at this and I think they'll be intrigued as to what the rest of the film would entail from the title opening sequence. So fundamentally, our target audience would be probably around the 12 to 17-year-old bracket, and I think they would really enjoy this project, and so I think it will appeal to them more so than any other type. Question number 5. How did you attract / address your audience? I feel as though to target our audience we used a wide range of different sounds to build up the tension of our project, and it really captivates our overall perception of our project from the audience. And the main like camera angles, camera shots, I think it really intrigues the audience that we're aiming to get towards as our like target audience, basically. Because we try to get to a younger audience, because I think that's where most people will want to see action films, who are from around 12 to 17-year-old, basically young people. And the camera angles, the shots, the way we introduce is really interesting, and I think some of them go unnoticed, but because of the short title sequence that we've got here, I think you can really these features can be really. Question number 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? I think I've learned a lot about how to make a website, which is the main part of our coursework that I would use technology for. So we'd be updating blogs, adding clips from YouTube, doing our own independent research on the internet as well. It was a whole like bundle of things that go into making a website, and that's for basically recording what we have actually done for our main project. So if we're looking at what we actually did for our main task and our preliminary task, actually, we learned how to use different aspects of the camera that could help us to portray what we want to show to a greater extent. So, for example, if we wanted to like zoom in on something, if we wanted to speed up some of our shots to make it more effective, if we wanted to slow them down, if we wanted to add filters. We could all do this from Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Pro X actually, that we use for all of our editing. And I feel that this really helped to neaten up every shot that we've taken from our main task, and in doing so, we've really been able to make our project what we want it to be and what we want the examiner to observe from our project, which is an action thriller which captivates the audience in a whole bunch of different ways. And I think through our editing, you'll be able to see this to the correct amount that we want it to be shown as. I don't even know. I should get this done. And finally, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? Well, I see it as a step-by-step process, as in, from our preliminary task, we didn't really know what the main editing techniques were, how to use the camera well, what settings were the best for what we wanted to achieve. And I think as we went further and further on through further planning to our actual main product, we saw that we decided that this setting would be the best. We decided that we want to do this schedule to make sure it's make sure the project is to the best of what it can be, and we want to use the camera this way in this particular area, or we want to use these kind of characters with this kind of props. And as we went from our prelim to our main task, I think our organisation skills were key, as they helped us to just go through each technique like thoroughly and get to the final product, making sure there was nothing we missed out on, nothing we need to worry about, to make sure it's the best that it possibly can be. And in doing this, I think our product really ended up being the best that we wanted it to be, and achieve exactly the kind of genre, the kind of conventions, the kind of forms that we wanted to see from the very start of our planning. And it's just all down to sticking to what you want to do each day, just doing a little bit each day, progressing. And I think that's what we really did well at learning over the progression of our journey from the prelim to the main task. And it's helped us hopefully go on to A2 and bring these skills into further media products, and they'll probably be even better than what we've produced now. And so I think it has been really helpful, this journey, to help with our skills of media studies and help our media project to be the best that it can be